Chapter 2. Last time I left you with a question. If everything stopped, the striving, the proving, the constant movement, who would you be? Without the chase. Interesting, right? Today, I'd like to ask a different question. Not what do you want, but why do you want it? Because those are rarely the same question. Imagine someone says to you they just want to be successful. Fair enough. Sounds reasonable. Maybe even admirable. But if we stay curious rather than accepting the first answer, then another question appears. Why? So we can have freedom. Why? So I don't have to worry. Why? So I can finally relax. Why? So I can feel safe. Now we've arrived somewhere completely different. They weren't chasing success. They were chasing safety. And that's where life becomes fascinating. Because the mind is incredibly good at disguising emotional needs as practical goals. Someone says, I just want people to respect me. Perhaps. Or perhaps they're searching for the acceptance they never quite felt they got when they were growing up. Another one. Someone desperately wants the perfect relationship. Maybe it's love, or maybe it's just relief from loneliness. Someone spends their entire life, their whole life, accumulating wealth. Perhaps they enjoy building, or perhaps they're trying to buy certainty in a world that has always felt unpredictable. Again, there's nothing wrong with wanting any of these things, right? Success, love, recognition, security. Managed not to burn myself with the coffee this morning. They're all deeply human things, you know. The problem begins when we expect the external world to permanently satisfy an internal wound. I've noticed something about people, including myself. When we don't understand our deeper needs, we become incredibly persuasive storytellers. We convince ourselves if I just get this one thing, everything else will make sense. And for a little while, it often feels true. A promotion, a new relationship, a new purchase, a new achievement. There's a rush, a sense of arrival, and then, almost without warning, the feeling fades. Not because the achievement wasn't meaningful, but because it was answering the wrong question. It's like trying to satisfy thirst by collecting beautiful glasses. The glasses become more expensive, more impressive, more admired. But if there's no water inside, the thirst remains. Sometimes the life we're trying to build is simply an elaborate solution to a question we've never actually asked. So where do these deeper needs come from? Sometimes they begin in childhood. Not always through dramatic events. Sometimes through small moments, repeated hundreds of times. Feeling unseen, feeling compared, feeling responsible too early. Feeling like love had to be earned. Feeling that being yourself was somehow not enough. Children are extraordinary observers, but they aren't experienced interpreters. When something hurts, they rarely conclude, the adults around me are struggling. Instead, they quietly wonder, maybe it's me. And you know, in truth, once a belief like that takes root, the rest of life can become an attempt to prove it wrong. Perhaps that's why some people become perfectionists. Not because they love perfection, because mistakes once felt unsafe. Perhaps that's why some people never stop helping everyone else. Not because they're endlessly generous, but because somewhere along the way, their value became connected to being needed. Perhaps that's why some people never stop achieving. Not because success is the goal, because deep down, they're still hoping achievement will answer a question that achievement was never designed to answer. There's something beautifully freeing about recognizing this. Not because it instantly changes your life, but because it changes where you start looking. Instead of asking, what do I need next? You begin asking, what part of me believes I need this to feel complete? Those are very different questions. One keeps chasing, or I should say, one keeps you chasing. The other begins understanding. Awareness doesn't judge, it simply notices. It doesn't tell you to stop dreaming. It simply asks, who's doing the dreaming? The frightened child or the peaceful adult? Because one dreams to escape, the other dreams to express. Perhaps that's the quiet shift. Not giving up ambition, not giving up purpose, not giving up beautiful goals. Simply no longer asking them to heal something they never broke. So today, I'd like to leave you with another question. When you say, I need this, stop for a moment and gently ask yourself, is this really the need? Or is there another one waiting quietly underneath? Sometimes the answer changes everything. Next time, we'll explore something even more visible. Because once you begin recognizing your deeper needs, you start noticing something else. The same situation, the same emotions, the same outcomes. Almost as if life keeps presenting the same lesson until you're finally ready to see it.